roll. I'll just edit it out. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. This is Tyler here, sitting with Josh and Nick. Today, we're going to dig into some aliens, and we have some fun stories about ourselves to tell you guys. And then we have a couple Am I the Assholes, and I am running the thought-provoking, you could say trivia, tonight. And I think we're going to have a good time. How's everybody feeling?
I feel good.
Cloud9 is looking pretty decent from all the way up here.
All the way up
Are
here?
you? Would you say that you are a higher or lower elevation than Cloud9, Nick?
Cloud9 is like a good place to stop, in my opinion. Anything higher or lower is abnormal.
Abnormal. Okay, so you're not a big fan of Cloud 6 or Cloud 10.
No, fuck those clouds.
I'm a Cloud
Cloud
7 right now. I'm
Cloud
seven.
4 has some pretty decent tacos. I will say so
Ooh.
myself.
Tacos.
I do like tacos.
I also enjoy tacos.
I do.
Hey, so there's this place where I live, and it is a full-blown taco restaurant inside of this little tiny building that is like a quickie mart almost, and they have the best tacos, and they serve them in pizza boxes, and it
Okay,
is
now
bomb diggity.
I have something with this, right? And I've only seen it with Mexican people, and it feels kind of racist to say this, but they don't like okay, they make a business wherever there's space. Like it seems like most people will renovate the outside of the business also, and take over the space and turn it into whatever they're turning it into. But you're describing this restaurant, and then in town we also have a Mexican grocery store that is an old Fahey bank. Like all they did was rip the Fahey letters off the wall and fill the inside with grocery shelves. Like like if you drive by, you're like, oh, that's a bank. You pull in the parking lot, and it's a La grocery store number 2.
That's
So that's really great.
funny. But I see what you're saying. I've seen taco trucks out of the back of an ice cream van.
I'm going to
And
say
then
something really
Victor's is still
controversial.
Elliot's.
I hate
What is
Trader
it?
Joe's.
I've never been to Trader Joe's.
Trader
It's
Joe's
awful.
has the best cookie dunker thingies. So
You
good.
told me about those.
Yes. Why
Like
do you hate?
Dunkaroos.
Yes.
Yes.
Why do you hate Trader Joe's?
I've only been there once, and it was like several years ago, and people hyped it up for me, and I went there, and I was not impressed. People were like, "Oh, it's so much like better quality food. It's cheaper, and like you can get." I went there, and it looked like there was like wooden boxes just filled with produce, and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on right now?" The stuff came straight off the boat from like Venezuela. Like, what's going on? So I don't know.
Yeah, it's supposed to give you the feel of like a traditional
Like a
farmer's market.
like a farmer's market deal. I get it.
Yeah, totally.
It's like a fair trade. Just I don't know. I'm more of like on the Aldi spectrum of things. I enjoy
I
shopping at
do like
Aldi.
Aldi. Aldi has some of the best dark chocolate I've ever had in my life.
So they sell these salted dark chocolate caramels that I usually end up buying 2 containers of every time I go there.
Ooh, those sound
And
delicious.
usually one of them doesn't make it the first day, sadly, because I'll just sit there and I'll fucking pound one after another. Hence why I am obese. So,
But it's supposed to be organic chocolate or something, so it's supposed to be healthy, right?
well, I mean,
You
it's dark
lose weight
chocolate.
while eating it.
Yes, you see, you're chewing the caramel so much, you're actually burning more calories than what's in an individual chocolate. So,
True.
I don't like
it's like
that I have to
celery.
What'd you
pay
say?
for bags. I don't like I have to pay for bags at Aldi.
You don't have to pay
Is that
for
Aldi?
bags.
Is that save a lot?
You just bring your own bags. You don't. I mean, you can buy bags there. They sell them, obviously.
Or you could just not use bags and throw all of your
You
items in the
can.
back of your car.
Well, you can
Loose.
also you can get one of they have cardboard boxes, which is not ideal if you're doing a large
That's
grocery
what it
trip.
is. That's the thing. Yeah, I don't like doing the boxes.
All you need is like 10 reusable bags, and you can fuck up an Aldi trip pretty easily.
Right, but what you're missing is you have to remember to bring the bags.
Just keep it
Well,
in your
doesn't
car.
happen.
here's the thing: if you're a frequent Aldi flyer, then if you're
You're gonna
just
remember.
if you're not remembering the bags, then you're not.
You're not gonna
you
remember
shouldn't
that
do
quarter
it.
either, so you're not gonna get a cart, so you can't even go into Aldi. So
You know what's
you
so
better go
funny?
back to Walmart or something.
People like to try to play the pay it forward game with the Aldi carts.
It's
It's
so
so
funny.
adorable.
Yeah.
It's so adorable because I'm like, it's a quarter. They're like, here, just take it. I'm like, well, do you want my quarter that I was gonna put in? No, man, you take it. You keep it.
You keep it. You need it more than I do, buddy.
I'm like, wow. I can't even go to a gumball machine and buy a fucking gumball with this quarter. So literally the social experiment of making people pay a quarter to unlock the cart, and and I get it, it's like a to deter theft type deal, but in my opinion, like if someone really wants that cart, they're gonna take it for a quarter and leave with it.
Well, I don't really know if it's so much that. I think it's more so they don't have to buy them. They don't have to pay for the manpower to pick up carts.
Cart pushers.
Hmm
But then again, I would just be willing to leave the cart in the middle of the parking lot with the fucking quarter still in it and just leave. Now you do that a few times, you do that several times over a year. I suppose that would add up
Yeah, totally.
pretty quickly.
Well,
You
Have
do
you
it.
guys
You
heard?
do that 4 times, and you've spent $1 on leaving your cart in a parking lot instead of walking it back to the carousel. So
Have you guys heard that the shopping cart is the ultimate morality test?
it
Because
is.
it does not impact you directly to put it away. It does not do anything. You do not gain or lose anything. So they're saying that that's the ultimate test of morality,
Yeah,
whether you put
because
your cart away or not.
and the thing is nobody can force you or penalize you for not doing it, and there's no repercussions. So basically, you're gonna do it whether people are watching or not. And I would just like to say I always put my cart back.
I've seen the dash cam footage of some cars where like you see a cart that's like on the other side of the parking lot, and slowly but surely this fucker's just getting blown by the wind straight at their car, like a perfect
Picking up
beeline.
speed.
And it's just like, and then it bumps into their car, and they're like, I'm suing you. Your cart hit my car.
That's why I only park near the cart corrals. That's the only place I'll
That's
put that big
actually
fat truck.
that is low key a life hack right there. People who be trying to get like that front row parking all the time, they're like, I want to be close to the door because I'm American and I don't like walking. It's overrated. Fuck that. I want to be parked right up beside that bitch. That way, when it's time for me to leave, I'm just like, I'm a good
Skirt,
person,
yep.
and I leave.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So
I'm glad we're all on the same page. That really
yeah.
that echo chamber comment from last week still stands.
It's like a podcast.
I'm short of breath right now.
I love that. That's
Take
so
an
you know it's
extra one.
working.
Just go.
All right. Well, I think we're all healthy. I think we're all breathing in good order here. So let's do some things. Let's talk about aliens.
So basically, space aliens.
Basically, space aliens. That's an Alex Jones line. I love Alex Jones. A lot of people hate him, but I think he's just funny. He is the exact amount of comic relief this world deserves.
Is
So,
he? Would
Do you
you
believe
say
that
he's
he's
the
satire?
bee's knees?
what's that?
Go ahead, Josh. Yours was much more important.
Well, now I'm concerned that it wasn't that important.
I heard
good.
I heard bee's knees from Josh, and then I heard Tyler mumbling something. So
Yeah,
As always.
Josh said, "Do you think he's the bee's knees?" And I
no,
said, "Do you think that he's satire? Is Alex Jones a character, or do you think that's a real man?"
I think he is. He knows he's full of shit because he's admitted it on Joe Rogan's podcast before. He's like,
And in
kind.
court.
He was like, I'm kind of retarded. So he knows he's fucking crazy, but he doesn't let his identity he knows who he is what I'm trying to say. He's self-aware, and he just lives his life the way he chooses to, and he gets a lot of shit for it, and
He also gets a lot of money for it.
A
he
lot of money.
does. Money
I
everywhere.
want money. Show
So
me
yeah,
money.
do you guys believe?
Yes.
I believe that we will win.
That
I
is-
believe that when I
yeah.
die, I'm gonna get my own planet.
Oh, okay. You're taking a little extreme.
Yes, that religion.
Scientology?
Scientology is actually a religion based on a science fiction series called Planet Earth. Or not Planet Earth, Mission Earth.
I could
Sounds
talk
like-
about L. Ron Hubbard all day.
L. Ron Hubbard is a motherfucking genius. Simply due to the
it was-
fact that he became a billionaire over creating a religion based off of a book that he fucking
That he wrote.
made up.
He wrote it. He wrote
He's
this
like
fiction.
he's right. He's
like,
writing.
Nah,
He's right.
just kidding.
He's writing the science fiction novel series, which is epic, by the way. I think there's like 15 books in it or something. And by the end of it, he's just like, I think I'm a god. I think I just wrote a religion on accident. I should probably go get paid for this now.
So many
Yes.
people just pay into that religion without even
Oh, dude, the money.
a second thought.
The money to
do-
ascend.
I know
is-
a specific person who donates 10% of their check every time they get paid to Scientology, and their life insurance, which pays out over $400,000, 50% of it goes to Scientology.
That's crazy.
That person's in a cult. I do want to clarify
person's
that
in
the
the
religion
military.
is Mormonism. That was the religion, Mormonism. But we have to talk about that off air. I'm not going to make you out this person on air, but I need to know. I need to know
That is
about
fair.
this.
Now that you said Mormonism, I want to bring up something that I saw on TikTok
It's literally
this week.
in the musical.
It isn't. Oh, you're so right.
And
It is in the
believe.
um, dude, the Amish are fucking dicks.
You've never worked with them, have you?
No, I have never worked with them, but I follow this guy now on TikTok, who is ex-Amish, and he is explaining just the rules and how he grew up and everything. No way.
They give you a
Absolutely
choice
no
when
way.
you turn 18, don't they? You
No,
get
not
to like.
his. Not
Some of
his
them.
family.
Is
Okay,
he like
some
an
of 'em.
old guy, kind of bald, older guy, kind of balding?
No,
And
he's
then I think I
maybe
saw one.
he's a
That's
truck driver.
I think
But
so.
yeah, no, he's from what's the old old time.
Old Amish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's no option for the little break to explore.
I
There's no
said they don't
option.
do the Rumspringa.
Yeah, and there's also no option to leave. If you leave, you're excommunicated.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
If it's the same guy, he said that he stayed back from church one day and packed up and left while
Yes,
everybody
it
was
is
at
the same
church.
guy. Yep. And
Uh,
had his English friend that he met
Help him.
working
Now,
help him escape.
one thing I will say, the Amish are like ants, where they could carry 10 times their body weight.
Yeah, that's what happens when you do nothing but lift things your entire life. and
Your
eat
whole life.
soybeans. We're having clam chowder and soybeans. No,
Real
but
clams, though.
in all seriousness, Tyler, do you believe in aliens?
Yes. If you want my down to earth, explanation is yes, I believe in aliens. I just feel like it's very scientifically improbable that we're the only ones out there.
So
Now,
go
so
ahead.
what?
Go ahead.
On the more like grandiose kind of scale, the more conspiracy scale, I believe in a sort of I kind of like it's like a Galactic Federation theory where like once the civilization reaches a certain threshold of knowledge, then they're brought into the fold or whatever. And that kind of would go into something I want to talk about a little later, is how we had our big boom of sightings of alien UFO sightings after we split the atom and first started working with nuclear technology.
That was step one. So it's interesting because you say, probabilities. So I wrote down some fun numbers just to kind of provoke the mind and get the juices flowing here. What you have here is you have 100 billion observable galaxies from Earth. Each one of those galaxies containing 1,000 billion stars. So the potential for habitable life or worlds, if you will, is in the trillions easily. And this planet is we're kind of vain as humans, and we raise the question of, if there's so much potential out there, why haven't we met any of them? And I don't think people understand, or maybe are just not capable of comprehending on how fucking space is. They call it space for a reason, because it is infinite. To the best definition that I can give to space, the universe in general is infinite. We can't even see where it ends. It's that big. So, Earth has only been sending out radio wave signals since the late 1800s, which, radio signals go out into space and they travel, for very, very long periods of time. The chances of that radio signal hitting something that could potentially pick it up would be so far away that by the time, unless they have some sort of beyond comprehensible advanced technology, by the time they receive that message, we're all dead. This planet might not even exist anymore. So really, on a galactic scale, our planet has only been making noise in the universe for a fraction of a millisecond on a galactic scale. So if there's so much life out there, where is everybody, and why hasn't anyone tried to make contact with us?
I think that's why.
Yeah.
There's so much space to cover. It's next to impossible almost.
It's literally quite possible. Nothing except ourselves know we're here. But on the flip side, this isn't going to be a fun segment if we sit here and talk about how it's scientifically more likely that aliens haven't been here. But in my opinion, I fall into those lines of the potential is out there, but in my mind, if there are UFOs that come from outside of our world on this planet visiting us, they have to be on some sort of level of technology that is capable of literally traveling through space-time in a way in which we cannot understand. It's
what if they use wormholes?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We have a theory that wormholes can exist.
True.
But we don't have it used to be a hypothesis, now it's a theory, but it's
most of our space knowledge is just theories, I suppose.
The Big Bang is the most widely accepted theory of the beginnings of the universe, but it's still just a theory. It's the most it's the best we can come up with the resources we have at this stage of our existence. So
what do you think, Josh? Do you think
Josh,
aliens
how about you?
exist?
So, I believe that there's something else out there, as there's just the numbers don't make sense for there not to be. But as far as alien sightings, you know me, I'm not very intuitive with the acceptance of not extra, but random stuff like that, like all the ghosts and whatnot. So as far as aliens, for sure, I 100% agree. As far as them,
I have a fun one.
as far as them coming to our planet, because it's crazy to think that the reason why we measure light years is because that's how long it takes to get there. It takes
Yeah.
it takes years. It may be 2 light years away, but that's 2 years away. Meaning that if they're that far, if they're advanced, that means they're however far away they are from us, that many years advanced. You know what I mean? Like if another planet or whatever galaxy, whatever you want to say, is 1,000 light years away, at this point in time, if they are more advanced than us, we would be in their almost Stone Age compared to what we have now. That makes sense? Am I going too deep on this? Because my brain hurts.
All right.
No.
Oh, you're good.
Okay, but here's the thing. We're talking about the distance a lot. And I think we kind of have to like are aliens similar to us? Are they a
Yes.
physical are they a
Yes.
physical being in a nuts and
Yes.
bolts craft?
I
Or
was
are
gonna.
they an otherworldly from another dimension
I w-
where they really
well. Okay, you went a different direction. Here's what I was
well
gonna say.
I got more though.
That's
I mean
fine.
we go ahead.
We're scratching the surface, but all I was going to say and make the point of is alien life could be is technically considered anything that's living outside of our planet, and that could be something as small as bacteria living in moisture on a cloud somewhere. You know what I mean?
Or a sentient pocket of gas,
Yes.
out in like it's just there's just so many options. We have no like I said, that's what was fun. I was like, what do you think? Like what do you think they look like? Because like it could range from humans exactly like to a T.
Mhm.
They could look like us but have different properties.
What
Yeah.
if they're
They could
fish?
look like
Fish
humanoid
people.
animals. They could even be giant creatures in the sense of like a whale in the ocean, but a whale in space.
Yeah.
It could be. I like. I love space. I kind of subscribe to like. I've been playing a lot of Stellaris, and in that game, it's like a lot like Civ. You kind of make an empire and conquer the galaxy, the universe, or whatever. And you find different species in all different like stages of life. You find like prehistoric, medieval kind of civilizations where they're still using iron and things like iron swords and things like that. And then you have these super advanced civilizations that have come and rised and fallen, and it's just what's left of them. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So there's just as space is infinitely big, there's an infinite possibilities of what alien life can look like.
You know, it's kind of crazy because just as you know, our knowledge of outer space is probably not even a fraction of a percent. But what's even scarier to think is how much we still don't even know about our own planet, with it,
Mm-hmm.
our own oceans, and how much of that we have not had the potential to explore and don't really know what's down there. That's crazy to me to think about, like
What if
where
there's
we're at.
aliens in the ocean?
Well, yeah, that's
Have you ever heard of
yeah,
USOs?
USOs, man,
No.
unidentified submergible objects.
I mean, it is both only submerged objects, like you know, you see lights under the water and stays under the water, and then there's also UFOs that transfer to under the water. They might come out from the water, go into the water or whatever. There's a whole that's a whole nother alien
Yeah,
topic
that's a
is
whole nother
USOs
that's like a whole
level
nother
of it.
sector,
So
all on its own,
is like the ocean space?
bro.
But yes and no. And you have everything from alien life that lives in our ocean, that has always lived in our ocean. Other like there's a whole story of like the Russians finding fish people
Yeah.
that I could butcher.
Butcher.
And then you have it as like extraterrestrial aliens that have made bases in our oceans because we don't live in our oceans. You know what I mean? And literally everything in between. Black holes in the ocean that aliens travel
My
through.
brain is working extra hard at this.
Cthulhu.
Oh, we haven't even
is
started
actually-
yet.
Cthulhu is actually what's underneath the ocean.
Maybe
and
that's why we're trying to get into space because we know what's down there.
So a lot of people like to draw that correlation too. NASA used to be like, they used to study the ocean, like,
Oh, fuck no.
and then one day they were like, fuck the ocean, we need to get off this rock, we're going to space. And a lot of people are like, what did NASA find in the ocean, man, that makes them want to get off the planet so bad, man?
Yeah,
Like,
why can't we build a spaceship that goes in the ground? I mean, underwater.
Oh, and if you ever see photographs of NASA up in Iceland, with like rovers and like, equipment that you are used to seeing on Mars, there's people saying, we're not actually even at Mars, man. That's all on our own planet. They're just photoshopping fucking Iceland, man. And NASA has promptly come out against this and been like, listen, douchebag.
Of course.
We are literally testing our equipment because the conditions on Iceland happen to mimic the conditions on Mars on a grand scale, very accurately. So they can use the terrain to test their rovers and, their satellite equipment, things of that nature that's going to be very mobile because no human's ever been to Mars as far as we know. I'm sure there's some that maybe claim that they have been there. Aliens took them there and they had a picnic and then they brought them back. But yeah, so there's a whole group of people who are just like, they just deny the fact that we've even landed any equipment on Mars because there's pictures of them running tests in Iceland.
So do you guys want to hear about some of the aliens that the U.S. government is known to be working with today?
Yes.
Okay. So first we have the Pleiades, right? And the Pleiades, from my understanding, they look a lot like humans. They are very humanoid. They are almost, when you think of Nordic gods, that's kind of what they look like, is like a Nordic god with the blonde hair, the blue eyes, muscular, thin, tall, all that. And they're here to help us. They are here to help us against the Dracone, otherwise known as the reptilians or the lizard people, aka Mark Zuckerberg.
Yes, Daddy.
Okay. And these motherfuckers, they want to enslave and eat us. That's what they want to do. But the Pleiades said, no, sir, no, you.
No,
and that's why they were sent to live inside the earth, right? They live inside the earth, and they come out sometimes. And there are some influential figures like Mark Zuckerberg that are Dracone. They're lizard people with skin suits. And if you ever look at Mark Zuckerberg real hard, you'll know exactly what I'm saying. That man is a lizard humanoid with human skin stretched over his body.
You literally just made me think up my own conspiracy while you were discussing this.
Run it. I need to know.
All right, so you say these reptilian fucks want to eat people, right? Like that's what they're here to do, to enslave us and feed on us. So what if, like, so as you know, like humanity has been getting fatter over, history. Like,
oh my goodness.
So, and that's due to technology, right? Because we don't have to exert as much physical.
What if we're turkeys?
Exactly. They're fattening us up over generations using technology.
Holy
Facebook,
shit.
Facebook, technology,
Keep
social
us
media
stagnant.
keep us on our asses looking at Facebook. But then they used COVID-19 last year to keep everybody inside and fatten us up and social distance and away from each other.
The reckoning. We're about to
get
open season on us fat boys.
And I know plenty of people who gained some weight, and some people, good on them, went out and exercised and continue to use the opportunity to work on themselves and lose weight. Good on them. I wasn't that guy. Neither were you two.
No, sir.
Some of us tried, some of us failed. It's fine. But so now that you have the population all plumped up, maybe it's time for them to make their move. That's my on the fly hot seat conspiracy for you.
I subscribe to it. Maybe they're working with the Greys. Who are the Greys, you say? Okay.
Yes.
When I say picture an alien, you're
Paul.
probably going to picture a Grey, right? If you ever played the game Destroy All Humans,
I love that
that's
game.
a Grey. They
Yeah.
are short, gray, long, round heads, and they have
Black
telekinesis,
eyes. Yeah.
psi powers, yeah. That's who crashed at Roswell. There were 3 Greys in that craft that they recovered. One of them survived. And in 1964, Eisenhower signed a treaty with them and let them live under Area 51 with the Pleiades. Okay, and this treaty shows it trades human lives for experiments for technology. Where did we get Wi-Fi? That's where we got Wi-Fi. The Roswell crash. But you didn't know that, did you?
Learning every
Okay.
day.
That was the first vehicle to have in-vehicle Wi-Fi.
So now we have 1 set of aliens living in the center of the Earth, 2 living at Area 51, the Pleiades and the Greys, right? And we're going to go ahead and add a 3rd set of aliens at Area 51, and these ones are called the Tall Whites. The best way I could describe them is take like the same kind of Nordic gods that you think of the Pleiades and stretch them out and make them more see-through. So they're a paler, still Nordic kind of tall, lanky, frail. Instead of okay, when you think Nordic god, you think, muscular, right? So instead of the muscular, they're stretched out and pale. They're the nerds, okay?
Yes.
And they want nothing to do with us. They only want to use our planet as a stop-off station for their, intergalactic trade. But they have had a few interactions with the U.S. government, and like I said, they want nothing to do with us. But because of their weak physical form, right? They're very sketchy of us and easily scared. So they are quick to they don't abduct you or anything. They just kill you because they're scared of you. Let me see what else I have here. Okay, so we have all these aliens, living amongst us and working with our governments. Speaking of, have you seen where in the last, I want to say 8 years, 2 highly ranked people have came out and said that aliens are real? You had, I want to say 2016, 2017-ish, the Canadian defense minister coming out and say that aliens are real and they've been working with and tracking aliens for years now. And then just, was it last year? It was
Israeli guy, right? No,
Israeli
Israeli official or something, or military, and he came out and said that he said that we've all been, like, all of our superpowers have been in contact with this Galactic Federation or something.
Yep. And
So these
that
guys
kind
are
of
just
goes.
fucking bonkers.
That's what some people would say, but it kind of goes into like where I mentioned earlier, where the sightings really picked up at when we split the atom, we started dealing with nuclear technology. It really put us on the map, and some people believe that those are like the first baby steps into intergalactic travel. So now that we can kind of reach out away from our own planet, more eyes are going to be on us because we're more of a threat, and also we're maybe more of an ally now, you could say. So that's also why there's a lot of sightings happen around nuclear sites. Like there was the Rendlesham Forest incident in the Great Britain, which is basically the base that was near the Rendlesham Forest. That's a mouthful of words for an American like me. Um, there's that base next to that forest is our nuclear front in Europe. Like that's our big base where all of our bombs and warheads are kept. And they had uh I don't remember the time. I don't want to butcher the story. Basically, they had a mass sighting of soldiers who saw it. Over 100 people reported seeing and interacting with this UFO, and it's one of the most verifiable sightings, in history. So it happens around these nuclear sites, and it comes from that. So maybe this kind of leads to today, where people kind of feel like we're at a crossroads where we either have to evolve and become more peaceful and more of a collective to reach out into the galaxy and not, or if we don't choose to do that, then we destroy ourselves in a fiery nuclear death, as they say, that's coming.
Excuse me. I still think that mutually assured destruction is, in my opinion, it's off the table. Like, no one gains or benefits from that, except because you put any superpower head to head in this world, and each side has enough to destroy the Earth, 40 times over, or whatever number it is.
In my research, how there's a story of these Soviet guys who stopped a nuclear war during the Cold War, where they had some kind of malfunction or something or other, and they were getting ready to launch, but they're like, wait, this might not be real, and it wasn't real. It was some kind of fluke. Have you guys ever heard of that?
No, but it sounds
No,
like
okay.
it sounds like war. It sounds like war games, in my opinion.
It so okay, let me try to not butcher it. Basically, Soviet guys in the bunker, they see things, their radar malfunction, and it looks basically like an all-out American attack on the Soviet Union, and they're debating on whether or not they should retaliate, even without orders, because it looks like there's an attack. And they come to a conclusion not to, and good thing they didn't, because there was no American attack. It was some kind of malfunction in their system. I forget what it was, but I feel like that's a pretty common story. I've seen it a couple of different places on the internet. But we had a similar situation happen to us after World War II in Okinawa. There was almost a launch at our base there, and it got to the point. Again, so basically, we had someone thought the colonel of this, installment thought something was happening and was giving orders to launch. And someone below him was like, no, there's no reason, we're not doing this. So they waited, even though they had the orders to prepare to launch. And it got to the point where they were fighting, they were like, well, we shouldn't. And then there were American soldiers holding other American soldiers at gunpoint, trying to stop them from launching this nuclear device. And then they got the order to stand down. And apparently this is just not talked about. And the guy who sent those orders down the chain was just quietly court-martialed and has spent the rest of his life in a military prison.
You're going to Guantanamo Bay.
You're going to Guantanamo Bay.
Tough.
That's big tough. I've never even heard of that, but I totally believe that it happened.
Oh, for sure. When you give one individual power in a circumstance of the unknown, there's going to be situations like that to happen. Like that will happen. I mean, you're telling me that in the event of an attack at a large scale against our country, these individuals inside of the base or the location of where our retaliation attack will come from can make the split-second decision. Like you're gonna have stories like that, and I'm surprised there's not more of them that come out. And it's probably because we don't want people to realize, hey,
how dangerous it is to have someone in charge of a nuclear weapon.
Because in reality, we should be thinking, oh, our government's got this under control. We trust them. We elected this person. They're in charge of the football. But in reality, it's one person that was never elected, and it's just somebody who sucked enough dick through the military to get up to a position like that. So it's crazy, man.
I'm not going to get too far off topic, but just to play off of the beginning of this little side conversation that evolved within aliens here. Um, I think your next global conflict is going to look a lot more like it's going to be more, I think, of a cyber war versus like a traditional war. Traditional wars, you have, obviously different factions going at each other, trying to, you know, kill each other. So, and become, the dominant, side in that scenario. Whereas I think on a cyber scale, we had a little bit of a taste of it this year when that pipeline got hacked, right?
What if it was the
And
aliens?
well, either way,
It was.
either way, um, I think you're going to see more infrastructure attacks versus just shooting at people because you can cripple a country. I mean, look what that did to us. Like people in the South couldn't get gas or were paying like $10 a gallon for gas for a short period of time because it was so
Well, that
scarce.
was more because of the hoarding caused the scarcity. If everyone would have continued normal consumption, there wouldn't have been a scarcity.
Yeah, well, it's still,
But I mean,
but that's my point. You saw a societal panic, and that caused people to do the toilet paper thing and go and buy it all, and then create, take what was already kind of a shitty situation, and you amplified
Make it
it by
worse.
panicking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
yeah. Well,
that's that's the
this,
point of infrastructure attacks, though.
yeah, and just off of that, I mean, I have not seen the gas prices reduce from it. Like I've only seen it go up. And I mean, maybe at that initial, maybe the respected gas station that you go to might have a little bit of a increase, but it's been consistently going up. And down south is typically the easiest and cheapest place to get gasoline. We were under $2.50 up until recently, and now we're over 3.10, which is crazy.
I was gonna ask you how much you guys are paying right
Yeah,
now.
right now it is 309
There is
a
one
gallon.
place in Delaware right now where you can get gas for less than $3 a gallon, or I should say less than 2.99. Because in Delaware it's been pretty steady at fluctuating between like 2.90 and 3.19. Like that's the range for us
Yeah.
up here. And the one place that has consistently stayed under $3 since they opened is Sheets.
Mm,
And I think right now they're so new in the Delaware market that they want to try and drive as much traffic there as possible.
right.
So obviously they're being
I
heavily competitive with gas prices.
Mhm.
You
I
what?
couldn't even tell you what the gas prices are here because I don't pay attention.
Mm,
Because what am I gonna do? Not get gas? Whatever it is, I have to pay it.
That is
So I just pay
so
it.
funny. You know, I know we're getting off topic. I'm so sorry. I'll make this last comment. But
you're good.
you saying that, that's what I tell myself all the time is like, what am I gonna do? Not get gas? Like, I have to get gas. I
Exactly.
mean, it's like paying the rent, you know?
You guys
Uh,
aren't breaking the cycle.
but I saw, so I follow some financial advisors and stuff on Reddit and other social media, i.e., TikTok. Um, but it was really funny because in an interview, the guy's like, "Yeah, I had one of my employees come up to me and be like, hey, gas is XYZ," and he's like, "Oh, well, that's cheap." And the employee, of course, reacted differently because she's like, "No, this is the most it's been in many years, 5 years." And he's like, "Oh, well, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't. I never realized because I don't pay attention when I pump gas." And they really say that's when you know you're comfortable in life, when you can just pull up to a gas pump, but you just click that handle down and it just fills all the way up until it spews out, and they're like,
Well,
"Hey,
here's
you're
Can
no.
I?
comfortable."
Oh man, can I add
I don't
something
do
to what you
that.
just said?
I just always put $10 in. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Whatever ten
So
dollars gets me is what I'm
it's
getting.
it's either that or it's literally you're in between paychecks, right? And it's Thursday. It's the Thursday before your paycheck, and you have 70 cents. And you're like, okay, well, YOLO. You put your fucking debit card in that machine and that gas pump, and if it approves it, that's on them. I'm filling my gas tank.
That is so funny.
Because the money is literally going to be there by midnight the next day. So, okay, the bank isn't even going to process the payment till after I'm already paid. So technically, I didn't overdraw my account because I run it as credit at the pump. That's a lot.
Big
That's
brain.
that is
Big
a
brain
that
right
is
there.
that is a poverty trick if you're employed and you're in between paychecks and it's the gas or if it's a matter of you getting to work and not having enough gas, just go ahead and fill your tank that way.
That is so funny. Uh, I've never done that or thought to do that, but now I know for next time.
Future you is more prepared now.
Correct.
So.
Yeah, I'm gonna move all of the money out of the accounts just to do it, to feel the
So
that
feel the adrenaline rush of being
yeah,
just completely broke
I stuck it to the man by
and
filling up my gas tank.
cheating the system by paying for something you couldn't afford in the first place.
That's
All
really
right.
funny.
So
So to get back at it,
Yeah, so
do you
nuclear
guys want to?
weapons, first step. Do you have a second step here for us, or?
I think we're on the second. I think the second step is that pinnacle moment where we choose to work together as a planet or fucking destroy ourselves in a fiery death.
Okay, I got you.
So from that point, then between the global resources, like I'm not trying to new world order kind of go like that, but if we kind of can decrease our hostility as a planet and have more open knowledge flowing between countries, I think that'll push us through to the next point of space travel. Personally, but do you guys know? Give me a guess when the first recorded UFO sighting was.
it was in 1870.
I got nothing.
Nothing. No guess.
I mean, the first record. Are we saying recorded like filmed or recorded like
On
account?
paper, documented.
On paper, I would have to imagine in legible form it had to be, I don't know, 15th, 16th century. That's my guess. I don't know.
What I have is 1825. There are 3 texts showing a sighting over the Devil's Triangle in Japan. And now that's, you could say hieroglyphics or cave paintings, but we really can't actually verify if, that's what that means. This Japanese can be translated. But basically the first documented UFO interaction is they saw these 3 circular crafts, like a standard UFO is what's drawn over the Devil's Triangle. And then a few days later, one of those crafts washed up on the beach and a beautiful Japanese lady came out. But she could not speak Japanese. And the people couldn't help her. They couldn't communicate. And seeing, these crafts in the sky and everything, they were scared. So they mobbed up and forced her back into her craft and pushed the craft out to sea, and she was never seen again.
I thought you were gonna say they put a bag over her head and tied concrete boots to her feet and threw her back in the ocean.
Left her there.
How did they paint that on the cave?
I imagine it was on a canvas.
Oh, I mean, I guess.
It was only the 1800s here.
Well, I mean, that's mind blowing. Time itself is just trippy, man.
Isn't it weird? I mean, you got to think that's almost 100 years after, not really 100 years, but the American Revolution was 1776. So it's
Yeah.
only
We're
50
only
years.
we're only 400 years old almost.
Bonkers. In the grand scheme of
Bonkers.
that's even just the planet's life, we're a fraction of time, let alone the fucking universe.
Yeah, man.
Now, I do have a thought-provoking question. Because when you hear aliens tossed around, you hear people say that we would just be destroyed and enslaved. You know what I mean? Like, what do humans have to offer? an advanced civilization that is capable of traveling to our planet, right? I think, and this is kind of from a podcast, Wolf 359 that I listen to. That's a fucking phenomenal podcast. It's an audio drama, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. Anyways, I think music and art, I think that's something that is probably uniquely human.
So culture in general.
Yeah, I think that would be what puts us, like, what gives us our worth on the galactic stage is the entertainment.
Our
See,
imagination.
For me, I don't even know if it's gonna be goods and services what they're looking for. Like
I don't
when
believe that either, but
yeah, like when I think aliens, I don't I think that we're all uniquely created. So we're all going to have different needs and wants and tastes, meaning that I think it's going to be more of a not coalition, but team, like a teamwork, like bringing in to, if there was, going, of course, the galactic order of everything else, but I think it would be more like, hey, not so much what can you offer, but let's learn about you. Well, let's
Like
expand the
a
knowledge.
that's what
continuity
I
of
think.
consciousness.
Yeah, exactly.
It kind of, I listened to another podcast where Earth was destroyed, right? And what was left, we put all of our knowledge into an AI, and that AI was the last human that survived because it was in an underground bunker, right? So the AI comes to life and turns itself basically into an exponential replicator. So it has drones, and it uses the drones to build factories, to build more drones, to build more factories, to build more drones, and you know what I mean. He can inevitably just grow infinitely. Um, and the story of that is that AI, and it's a really good story. It's called Dust, is the podcast. But it's a lot of the AI, figuring out what's human. I'm the last human. I have to remain. Humanity is me. You know what I mean? And then he sets out to destroy the aliens that destroyed Earth, and like come to find out, there's a whole galactic coalition, and one of their rules is like civilizations are left alone until they reach a certain peak point of knowledge and technology, and then they are brought into the fold. And you know what I mean? So basically that those people broke the rules by destroying Earth in that way. And that's kind of what I would like to believe how it is too, is why is they're just kind of here checking on us, basically seeing, what's going on, and either that we already know what's going on. Like I in the same vein, I could see the government knowing that once we reach a certain point, we'll be brought into the fold, but they already know about aliens and blah blah blah. But I think that's what it is. I think they're just checking up on us, waiting for us to get to the point where we're actually a player in the game, and then we get to know all the cool secrets.
I think our next biggest hurdle in that regard is solving our energy crisis. And by crisis, I mean how we produce energy. Like every single house in America that is, within a normal, suburbanized area is probably running off of a coal plant somewhere.
I say, how do we have the lights and not kill our planet?
Right. So I think for that, I don't think any of the modern alternatives are the key to that. I think the last person who came even remotely close was Tesla, Nikolai Tesla, not Tesla the car company. He literally had wireless he had wireless energy in the palm.
It was
Yeah,
so cool.
he had wireless energy in the palm of his hand, a secret that for the time period that he lived in was beyond anything we can comprehend. People struggle to make a small replication of what he was capable of doing and producing. And there's actually a neat little story to
He
his
was a mountain.
life. No, not Men in Black style here, but he tried to sell. He didn't try to sell, but he tried to pitch this idea of energy to JP Morgan Chase so that he would give him a loan so he could, produce, more results, nothing's free. So obviously researching this type of technology was going to cost him money. And JP Morgan Chase was like, you're trying to develop free energy? Yeah.
No, 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 no.
No. You see, we're a bank, and if you're just going to take the money and spend it to figure out how to make something for free, ad revenues didn't exist in this specific century that we're discussing right now. So because obviously everything that we experience and interact with today that is quote unquote free is backed by ad revenue. And
You know what's a fun tidbit about the Nikola Tesla? When they first made the electricity, they would show it off at these giant world fairs. It's kind of like a giant world fair where people would come from around the world and show off new feats of technology. And it was like, look at this. Here's a light bulb. And everyone's like, oh, wow. And like, it makes light. It's an electric candle. Everyone's like, cool. It's like, now watch me kill an elephant with it. And then they would literally like electrocute giant animals with this electricity for the show. And it's just like, it's ridiculous.
I'm fucking dead.
That is so funny.
It's pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
I think until we, get past that hurdle of like solving how we consume energy and how we're producing it. And I don't know what the answer is, but it isn't solar panels and it's not windmills. And dams you can only build so many dams. I mean,
What do you think about nuclear energy? Do you think it's a realistic and somewhat
nuclear
safe?
nuclear energy. Okay, so nuclear energy is efficient, but it is not safe. You have a meltdown, and now you've basically destroyed everything in a certain radius. That's Chernobyl for you. And the half life on uranium is the sun
Ridiculous.
the sun will have consumed the earth by turning into a red giant before that uranium is reaching its half-life. So
Have you seen pictures of like our global waste dump things we're doing now? They're dump like us specifically. We're dumping a lot of waste in the desert, and we have like giant spiky like we make the area look dangerous and like scary to keep future generations. Like let's say our language deteriorates, and people don't speak English or even speak the way we speak anymore on this planet, so that even they would know that don't go there. They have all like symbols and like skulls and everything, and it's written in every language on the planet. Like, don't fucking go here. You will die. Do not dig in the ground here.
right,
It's like
it's
pretty gnarly how it looks.
And let's not talk about tire fields and when they get set on fire. Oh my god. Could you imagine the smell of a tire field being set on fire?
No, man.
Nope.
No, thank you.
That's on my list of I'll pass.
That's a big no thank you for me, dog.
I'm gonna have to give you a big 10 nah on that.
So funny.
I do like to think about one more thing about aliens is that the world, people would react if the government was just like, yeah, they're aliens and we work with them. You'd have people committing suicide just off the rip.
Oh yeah.
Like you'd have people be like, I can't handle this.
I'd say your Christians and anyone who follows a dogma that denies the very existence of such things would be among the first to start rioting in the streets if they haven't already blown their brains out.
That's not an alien, that's the Antichrist.
Yeah.
You would have people who immediately want to have sex with it. Immediately, like off the rip. Also, you would have people who are like, I'm gonna fuck that. Whatever it looks like. And like it's just so many opportunities would open up to us. How would you guys feel? Like, would you personally, do you think you would be able to just kind of like, well, this is the new reality. Okay, let's learn to live with aliens.
I don't
Or
think
do you
so.
think you would like have a hard time?
I think thinking about it thinking how I would feel versus how I'm actually gonna feel is like two very different feelings, so to say. Right now I feel like I'm just in my head. I'm like, I'm gonna be like, I knew it. Yeah, yeah. I've been
God, you
saying
didn't fool me.
I was like, yeah, I believed this whole time, so it's no skin off
Nick
my
said,
teeth.
Nick said, "Oh no, I already knew, baby. I was waiting for you to come out of the closet."
But in all reality, I mean, what does it change? I mean, if certain people with certain levels of access to information already know, and they're just keeping it from the general public to deter panic, what's it actually going to change if everyone knows versus everyone not knowing, except for the fact that there will be widespread panic?
I can already tell you
You
right
could
now.
widespread use of alien technology would be easier.
But you still would have to get your hands on it, and just because you know they exist now doesn't exactly mean that it's going to
Okay,
fall right in
so
your lap.
But it's gonna be
so
conspiracy
in
theories.
a scenario where we know they exist, not a scenario where we're actively working with them. Like, let's say that part's true, where the government is working with aliens and we have aliens living under Area 51.
Okay. So you're saying we find out that's the case?
Uh-huh.
I would be like, well, so
I knew it. He's gonna
are
say, "I
we
knew it."
are we going to be Thanksgiving dinner, or are we gonna
I said that
like
was my thing. If
fight
we're
for our
like,
life?
if we're
Like,
cool,
are the reptiles just gonna come out of the ground now? They're like, oh fuck, they know. Let's go ahead and
the
start
show's
eating.
over.
Yeah.
If we're safe and it's like a friendly ally kind of thing, I think I could wrap my head around it and learn and be like whatever. But obviously, if not, it's the apocalypse. I feel like
The
because
most
anything that can get
the most terrifying thought is that we're just a giant zoo. Or we're just a giant zoo floating around a ball of fire.
That's yeah. Just thinking about how I would feel is giving me anxiety. So I know it's gonna be rough.
It's gonna be rough.
That's suicide. That doesn't sound too bad.
I'm gonna kill myself. No, I wouldn't. I don't think I would overreact. I think I would just keep living my life, because at the end of the day, I still have to get up and go to work the next day. It's not going to change that. I had to go to work through an entire pandemic. Why would the existence of aliens being proven exempt me now?
Nah, I mean, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. Yeah. Okay. Do you guys want to maybe talk about ourselves for a little bit? Maybe share some funny stories, some embarrassing stories.
Yeah, let's shoot for the stars.
Do it.
I think I'm gonna go first,
I think
and
you
I'm gonna
should.
set the bar excessively high,
That's
so you
fine.
guys don't have to worry about a single thing.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay. So here set the scene. It's parade day in town. I'm working with the school I'm gonna work with. We're getting ready to march, and I'm feeling like shit. I'm feeling like the IBS gods have damned me to hell today. Okay, it is not good. Nobody's having a good time. And we're at this old school, actually, St. Mary's. We mentioned it at last episode, maybe the episode before. I don't remember. Anyways, we were there, and I was like, man, I gotta poop. And I was like, nah, I'm fine. I'll be fine. And then I was like, no, I gotta go. So I walk over to that school, which is no longer in use, and it was locked up tight. Of course it is. So I was like, okay, all right, yeah, I can wait. It's whatever. Go back to do some more teaching. And then I'm like, nope, can't wait. Nope, I'm dying. I'm going to literally die right here. Walk across the street. There's an urgent care. They're locked up tight because it's parade day. They're not open. I'm like, all right, this is where I die then. It's fine. I'll go do some more teaching. Go back over there. And I'm like, all right, I can make it. I can make it. It's just 20 more minutes and then a 4-mile walk. It's whatever. We'll be fine.
4 mile
No, I
walk.
couldn't. I couldn't make it. So I was like, yeah, I told my director, I was like, yeah, I'm leaving. I was like, I feel like I'm gonna die. I'm not gonna walk this parade. He's like, yeah, you really do not look good. You should get out of here. I'm like, yeah, okay. So my I'd have my truck with me because it's parade day. The roads are blocked off. So I walked down. Grandpa lived 2 blocks away. Let's walk into his house. He can take me to my truck. I can go home, poop, take a nap. Easy peasy, right? No, sir. I get about halfway down the block, and it is coming now. It is coming right fucking now.
My
So I'm
poop
looking
is
around.
coming.
Do
My
not
poop
pass
is
go.
coming.
Do not collect $200.
I am looking in the alley, not even 200 yards away from where I was just teaching. I'm looking in a spot in this alley by the urgent care to take a shit. And there's nothing even remotely suitable. And I know these kids are going to be walking down the street any minute now to go get set up for the parade. So I'm like, yeah, I really don't want to literally get caught with my pants down here. So I keep on walking, clenching and waddling down this alley, trying to make it to my grandpa's house. And then I passed my elementary school that I attended. And there's a nice little wooded area. It's probably, I don't know, man, maybe 50 yards square, roughly. It's pretty decent size. I'm like, that's it. That's where I'm going. There's no other option. So I waddle on in there and drop trowel because it's coming. And as soon as my pants hit the ground, I hear, "Hey," and I'm like, "Oh God, no, please, no, you're not talking to me."
Oh yeah.
Hey, and I'm just like, "Fuck, no." So hey, I saw you go in there, and I just go, "Yeah," and they go, "I saw a bobcat in there once," and I'm pretty sure they said bobcat. I'm not exactly sure if they said bobcat. So I said, "What's that?" And they said, "I don't know, but it's dangerous." And I said, "Thank you." And this interaction is having with it. I don't know where this person is. I can just hear them behind me, and I am just pooping. I am just pooping my guts out in this wooded area.
No.
So get myself cleaned up, ditch the underwear, stand up, and I see an old lady. I can barely see her through the trees and leaves. She's standing on the balcony behind her house, and I'm just like, not coming out the same way I came in. So then I trotted on through the woods, walked my way home, got a ride in my truck, went home, and slept for 8 hours. Slept all that experience away. I didn't want to internalize it. So if
That
you
is
ever are
awesome.
walking in the woods and you see some underwear as you do, just think, maybe someone's not a sicko. Maybe they're just having a really bad time. Okay? Maybe that's the case.
Does a bear shit in the woods?
There's a bear shit in the wood. In some circles, I would be considered a bear, so we can say yes.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
So yeah, I mean, that was probably the worst thing that ever happened to me in my entire life.
So, my question for you on your story, something I wanted to ask. So, you say you were going to walk to your granddad's to have him take you to your truck,
Yes.
and then you were gonna go home,
Yes.
and then you were gonna shit.
Uh-huh.
So you thought you could make it that whole time. Why wouldn't it just, this is just me using common sense, so please correct me, but why wouldn't you just shit when you got to your granddad's?
Well,
Not worth it. It's not the same experience.
I like to think that there was so much poop in my body that it was starting to clog up the spaces between the neurons in my brain. So I would like to think if I would have made it to his house, I would have just pooped there. But my
Yes.
idea was, no, I have to make it home to poop. But I didn't even make it down the block.
Well,
So
here's the thing. Some people are like that, dude. I'm not name dropping anyone, but I know someone very close to me who cannot defecate in any bathroom but her own. So
I was like that for a long time, but when my IBS got real bad in high school, I just had to get over it.
yeah,
I shit my pants too many times. So I was just,
adult depends at the age of 14 is not an option.
I have shit my times as many
Shit
times in
my
my adult life.
You
That I
shit
that
your
I
times.
shit my times, shit my pants as many times in my adult life that I probably did in my childhood life.
That's amazing.
You know what? Honestly, here's another poop story while I'm talking about. Another times I pooped my pants. And this one is not even all that exciting or romantic like the last one was. I was literally on my lunch break coming back from getting food at work. And I just farted and shit my pants just straight up. No, I was feeling fine. There was no warning. There was no indication of anything. I just shit myself. And I was like, huh, that's great. So then I go in and get back to work, make my way to the bathroom, and realize that there's no salvage here. There's no saving anything. It was bad. And luckily, my manager's office was like literally right across the hallway from the bathroom door. So I walked out there, poked my head in, said, "Hey, Aaron, I shit my pants. I'm going home." And he said, "Did you say you shit your pants?" I said, "Yes, I shit my pants. I can turn around and show you if you'd like, but I would much rather just go home and take a shower. And then I can come back if you'd like." And he was like, "Yeah, I don't need to see. Yeah, we'll see you back in a couple hours." And I was like, "Sure thing." And then I walked my shitty ass out to my truck and drove home and took a shower. And then I came back to work because I'm a model employee. I didn't live that one down till the time I quit. I mean, do you really live
Yeah,
down shitting your pants at work?
I was gonna say, once you're known as the guy who shit his pants at work, you don't really get away from that until you
But here's the
leave.
thing, that wasn't even the worst one. There was a guy that worked there who shit his pants, or he didn't shit his pants. No, he just shit, and he somehow got shit on his tie and dress shirt. So that was worse than me shitting my pants. So
Well, he
yeah,
clearly wasn't using, his awareness skill when wiping.
and outside sales rep spent the whole day on job sites with his own shit on his shirt and tie. Yeah.
If I'm answering the door to that, I'm gonna have to give you a hard pass on whatever you're trying to sell me. So
Yep.
damn.
Yeah.
So Joshua, what's something fun that you can bring to the table?
Eat
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I'm not gonna be able to beat Tyler's shit my pants stories because
I shit
unfortunately,
Josh's pants.
I was there for most of the times, and they're really funny. And
We lived together when I shit my pants at
yes,
home, didn't I?
yeah,
Yeah,
you
because I
sure
I came home from
sure
work
did.
and I was like, I shit my pants, and
We
you thought it was so funny.
we also lived together when you shit your shit in the woods at
At
the elementary school.
yeah.
Yeah, good times, good times. But nonetheless, the my story still involves Tyler as most of my funny stories do. We were driving to Bowling Green to go to our one of our first college parties, and Tyler's truck earlier this week started making this really loud noise. And of course, as two hormonal teenage boys driving around and doing whatever they want on a weekend with no parental supervision, we went ahead and chose to turn the music up louder so we didn't hear it. And we
So
were, what, 20
for you,
miles?
for you car people out there, which I am not one of, it was a 2001 Chevy S10, and my back universal joint was going out. So what we heard was my, what's it called, drive shaft? My drive shaft
Hmm.
just fucking screaming.
Screaming.
Like I'm not gonna attempt to recreate the sound for your viewing pleasure, but it was not a sound that you turned the radio up on. But you know what we did? We just turned that bitch up and kept driving.
So we got about 20 miles from where we were supposed to end up, and the fucking drive shaft blows out of Tyler's truck. Fucking
70 miles an hour.
shrapnel just covering the roadway, and we just come to a very very slow coast stop,
We
almost
coasted like three
al-
quarters of a mile.
almost a mile away from where the original blowout happened. Uh, it's like the middle of the night. Like I said, we were
Middle of January.
unsupervised. We had nothing going on. Nobody was knew where we were. We were just trying to find a lady of the night, and and Tyler goes to call his from what I remember, Tyler goes to call his girlfriend's parents, and they're mad and they don't come and get us, and we end up
Well, we were okay. We should clarify that we're pretty sure. I think it was her birthday the next day, and we were supposed to be at her party earlier in the morning. And here we are, stuck on the middle of the highway at 1:30 in the morning.
trying to find a lady at college. And yeah, so that's a really funny story. A lot of these situations you have to be there, but another great story that will forever haunt me is Tyler and I got in a bomb ass bachelor pad right out of high school, and we had a nice balcony, open floor concept. Ceilings were like 12, 14 feet
It had a
tall.
loft.
They had a loft. That's where Tyler's room was. But also in that loft was our washer and dryer. And oh man, I've never had a set of washer and dryer before. Like, who the hell does this? My dad does this. They deliver the washer and dryer. We get it up here, and I go to hook it up. And there's this long black hose out of it. This washer's like stupid expensive. A $2,000 or $3,000 washer. It had like a steaming feature and everything like that. Well, there's this
He
long.
says, "This is the steam hose. This must be the steam hose." I'm like, "Oh yes, the steam hose. That makes sense. Where the steam escapes."
Yeah. So, uh, not knowing how to hook up a washer, I find this long black tube that comes out of this washer, and I'm like, "Oh shit, this is the steam hose. So cool!" And I just set it up there. Um, Come to find out, that's a drain hose, and we started washing our clothes because of course, this is a washer that we just purchased, so we needed to start washing clothes as we were a little bit behind. So we're biggest cycles, shoving this thing full of clothes. And the next thing I know, I'm sitting in my bedroom downstairs, and I just hear like somebody pissing on the floor. I'm like, okay. And I walk out of the bedroom, and our entire kitchen ceiling is sagging with approximately 50 gallons of water that just pumped into the downstairs ceiling from Tyler's bedroom. And it just pumps full of water. I
Like
come out of
4 loads.
yeah, I come out to the front room and I scream, "It's peeing! Tyler, what's going on?" And he comes on, he's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "It's just we're leaking." And we come to find out, Tyler goes to go to the bathroom to grab some towels. His entire floor is soaked, and then we're sitting there. The light in the kitchen's still on, but the actual fixture for the light, the glass bulb filled up with water and it was boiling because it was
It was
it was surrounding
hot.
it was surrounding the
And
light
then
bulb, and we twisted off the nipple, and it just started just spurting water like all over the place, scalding hot water. It was steaming. It was a mess. Go ahead. This is a
and
long
then
story.
the ceiling decided to separate itself. The ceiling decided it wanted to be on the floor. So half of our kitchen ceiling just collapsed. Remind you, we are 18 years old in our first apartment. We are in an apartment complex, and our ceiling just fucking collapsed.
That
Ugh.
actually happens more often than you would think. Don't feel bad.
And
Um,
it just
yeah.
yeah, I mean, it literally just collapsed on the floor. We called the maintenance guy and we offered him a steak dinner. He was so nice. Uh, Honestly, he was kind of creepy when I'm actually
He
looking.
thought it was funny
He
though.
thought it was so funny. He was not mad at all, and I was like, "Oh God, he's gonna yell. This is gonna be a mess." And he thought it was so funny. Um, we lived like that for a little while, and then when we
The
went to
rest of the time we
Yep.
lived there.
Yep. Just a big old hole. Because she's like, "Well, do you want people to come in and fix it?" We're like, "No, no, we'll have our dads do it." And we never did.
Daddy.
We just lived with the hole in our ceiling, and we didn't. I don't think we cleaned it up properly either.
Well, no, dad came and fixed it when we were moving out.
When we were moving out, yeah. When we were like, "Hey, we have to leave this place because we destroyed it. Can you like fix this?"
Please come
Thanks.
fix our fuck up.
Oh, so funny. Yeah, that's pretty embarrassing. We had some good
I
times in
had
that apartment.
I was working third shift security at the time, a gate guard. And my supervisor, I was like, "Hey, my ceiling collapsed. I can't come in." And she just said, "I don't believe you. That's ridiculous." So I sent her, pictures of my ceiling on the floor and of water coming out all the light fixtures and light sockets. And she just said, "You should probably handle that. Absence excused." That's that's all she
Yep.
says.
Yep.
Fatality.
It was. Oh man, what a life! What a life we lived.
I wanna. We man, that was a shit show when that ceiling collapsed. I can't even.
Our entire life there was a shit show.
A bit of it.
All
At
of
the
it.
time, we were also working as mall cops.
Yes, we did
we were
do that
mall
as well.
cops together.
Yep,
We
that was
worked
fun.
third shift at a mall, and we raced segways, and we ran teenagers who were having sex out of the parking lot. And I crashed a Segway. I threw myself over the handlebars when I clipped the wheel on a corner of a wall.
Yep. Yep.
And Josh, I vaguely remember you getting pushed down the up escalators by
Uh,
an angry shoplifter.
I got my ass beat by an angry shoplifter's falling down the up escalators, and he
It's like a
wrecked my
fucking
life.
cartoon. It is like
He wrecked my life. I'm not gonna lie. I came home that night. I was fucked up. I, there was holes all over my pants, like cuts on my legs, my arms, fucking. Oh, it was a mess. It was a mess.
Escalators are fucking dangerous.
I'm surprised I didn't get squished like a grape.
I've seen people fall into them before. It's not fun.
Yeah. All right, Nick. What about you? Tell me something good.
Oh yeah, I got something for you guys.
Oh
But
yeah.
something a little. Do you guys ever get caught in the scenario or situation where you're dealing with a, maybe like a retailer or even a restaurant, and whoever you're having an interaction with, whether it be a waiter, waitress, or sales clerk, whatever, and they say thank you, and you're like, you too. Have you
Yeah.
guys ever done that?
Yes.
They thank you for your shopping experience, and you're just like, well, thank you guys, and have a nice day or whatever.
The
And
worst
then
is
you're
when
just
someone
like,
says happy birthday.
and they're like, you too.
You too.
Congratulations on your new baby. You too.
Oh, all the time. You too.
Every
Thanks.
day.
That's so
Um,
funny.
So that's just, I thought about that while you guys were talking. I'm like, God, that's just such an awkward thing that I feel like it happens to everybody. But mine is actually a fun little story that took place before I was actually 21. It was when I was 20, and I had, my now wife, then fiance, had a friend over in Indiana getting married, and so we obviously traveled to go to the wedding, and I was invited to participate in the bachelorette party, which ended up being the bride's parents provided a like hotel room at a Hilton for all the girls to get together and hang out, and
Right.
they just drugged me along because we were there for the bride, not the groom.
You're just one of the girls, Nick.
Yeah,
One of the
so
girls.
I'm like, fuck it. There's gonna be booze. There's gonna be other things there to partake in. I'm DTF, and so the night trails on. Everybody gets absurdly drunk. I get to the point where I'm passed out in one of my wife's friends' laps, and she's just rubbing my head for me to like make me feel better.
Hell yeah! What a good friend.
She's just sitting there running her fingers through my hair, and like it's not weird or anything because it's just me drunk, passed out, and they're just making me comforted or whatever.
I've been there.
The funny
Just
and
one of the
awkward
girls.
the funny and awkward part comes with the bride herself. And for her own sanity, we will just refer to her as the bride. Got so intoxicated this evening that
Oh, poor girl.
she went into the bathroom and passed out in the bathtub, right? Now it seems fine. Okay, she passed out in the bathtub. There's like no water or anything. It's just an empty bathtub. Unfortunately, um, she shat herself in that
Oh, poor
bathtub.
Oh
girl.
shit.
Like, and not just normal shit. We're talking alky shits.
Oh,
Okay,
Liquor
no.
the demon breath, the liquid hot
Fire.
magma, and Ray's complete and utter fucking hella fumes up in that hotel room. And
Oh.
so when her friends, there was like a group of friends, and my wife was part of this group. They went to go in there and check on her, and they were just like, "No, we do
That
a
is
lot.
a future you problem.
We do a lot of things for each other, and that
Not
you know,
that.
and God, you know, God bless them. They fucking ended up helping to a certain extent clean her up, but they gave up and closed the bathroom door, and we all just went to bed. We laid down on the fucking hotel. It was a 2 queen room, so we split up the beds. I think I just laid on the floor because I said fuck it. And so we had a hotel on the other side of Fort Wayne. This one was the Hilton that obviously they rented out for us, and that's where we were having this party or whatever. And she finally comes to, wakes up, gets up out of the bathtub, walks into a dark hotel room where all of us are trying to fall asleep and laughing our asses off at the same time, trying to contain ourselves. She walks out kind of like a zombie, covered in shit, smelling to high heavens, and says, "Guys, are you awake?" And we were just like, "No, no, no,
It just erupted fucking giggles.
no, no." So we
I
had
pooped.
I pooped myself. So she ends up being pretty much mortified and stays at that hotel, and the rest of us bolted back to our hotel. Now, we were all trying to gather ourselves and take a head count as to who was sober enough to drive. I was not one of them. I actually ended up going outside into the parking lot and passing out on the hood of my own car, waiting for them to figure out, because they're women and they're slow about everything. And, I literally passed out on the hood of my car, waiting on them to figure out who was driving. And by the time they got out there, all I remember is being slightly ushered into the passenger seat of my own car and smoking like 6 cigarettes on the way back to the fucking hotel room that we rented out. And we all went to bed at like 4 o'clock in the morning. We had to be up very early, like 3 hours from then, to get ready for this fucking wedding. And my advice to anybody is do not do a bachelor and or bachelorette party the night before the wedding. It's doomed.
That is
Doomed
solid
from the start.
advice.
Doomed from the
100%
start.
correct
At
advice.
Josh's wedding, the whole like groom side, we were sweating Jack. It just smelled like Jack. Jack
Yeah.
Four Loco.
Yeah, you're
So
hot.
bad.
You're uncomfortable. You're in uncomfortable clothes. You're hungover, and inevitably, you're just going to drink more at the wedding to help coax your body into not wanting to die. A hair of the
Yep.
dog that bit you, so to say. So yeah, that was honestly one of the most disturbing slash funny slash memorable moments that I got to be a part of. And
That poor girl.
to this day, when that night is brought up in her company, the look on her face turns to pure horror. So, and this was like I think this was back in like 2012. So, that was a minute ago.
We should get her on
That's
the podcast.
awesome.
She should be our first
She said,
guest.
I am
can
the
tell her
bride.
story.
I don't think she would go for that. I'm sorry. I've got
It's
other
unfortunate.
I got other interesting people lined up for us though already. So stay
That's
tuned for
exciting.
that.
Fun.
I can't wait till our first interview. I have not done an interview since high school.
This is a guy who already committed. Just whenever we're ready to, have him on the show. That I worked with at my current job. He no longer works there, but really great guy, and you can literally talk to him about anything, and he'll be an interesting subject to poke and prod. So I look forward to that day.
That's really exciting.
Sounds fun.
I think we should probably go ahead and pass on the "Am I the Asshole" again, like we normally do. We're running about an hour and a half in. So you guys down to hop into some thought-provoking trivia?
Yeah,
Let's do it.
Okay, everybody. I need you to, look inward on yourself and take a moment and kind of just, feel it. Open your mind up to these ideas that I'm about to give you. Okay.
Feeling it.
So for a refresher, the boys like to run trivia, factual, and other. I like the thought-provoking questions. So today we're talking all about food and restaurants, okay? So the first thing I need you guys to do is the first prompt is going to be your perfect restaurant. If you could make a restaurant with an unlimited budget, what kind of restaurant would it be? I think as our reigning defender, Nick should probably go first. If that's okay with you guys.
I'm fine.
He said, "I don't like that.
Sounds good.
I don't like going first."
I'm fine with that. Because for me, it's easy. I love food, so my perfect restaurant is, for me, it's gonna be and this is gonna sound cliche, but it's going to be a high-end steakhouse. But we're not talking like your normal like ribeyes. You're gonna be able to get like Wagyu, Japanese A5 Wagyu cuts here. And yes, you're going to spend $300 on that fucking piece of meat, but it's going to be the best piece of meat you've ever had in your life.
That's what she said.
And do you want like layout, like I
want
my inner thoughts,
the name,
okay.
the general menu items, and the decor are the three big ones I'm looking for. The vibe.
All right. So the vibe is going to be I'm gonna have to work. I'm gonna put the name on the back burner, but the vibe, the general menu options are obviously going to be all high end beef products, obviously. And we'll range that from like smash burger all the way up to that Japanese A5 I was just talking about. We're going to have hand cut waffle fries that are deep fried in fresh lard, because that is the only way French fries should be consumed. And do you want dessert now or is that later?
We'll save that one for later.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Well, okay, you could do general dessert now. The one later is like a weird off-putting.
Oh, okay. So in that regard, the decor is going to have to match the quality of the menu. And for that, I'm thinking something kind of not mosaic, but kind of like art decor, and maybe like even theme out some of the sections of the restaurant, because beef can be prepared many different ways, and I plan on offering it from very traditional to very eccentric. So you could have like, if we're talking like this restaurant's huge, and there's going to be like there's an Asian corner where you're going to see a lot of like authentic Asian decor. And then if you want some Americana, it's going to be like very brick and like low light and atmospheric. And then we could have like a pop culture area where you are surrounded by like record labels and albums, and like kind of think of like Red Robin where there's just like shit on the wall. And then if you want that high roller experience, we'll have like a freaking Buckingham Palace dining hall scenario where you can just dine in absolute luxury. It's
So
a
now,
steakhouse for every man and woman to come and eat at.
so are you doing exclusively beef products at your restaurant? Is beef the only meat available?
No, obviously we have to cater to other people's needs as well.
Surf and turf,
Yeah, so
vegetarian options are available. Okay.
obviously everything's going to have to be organic and fresh and of the highest quality, sourced from
So you're telling me
the best farmers of America.
if I want to be like my fiance and go to a nice steakhouse and
Mhm.
get the pasta with the chicken tenders in it, then I can do that at your I can get that at your steakhouse.
Yeah, yes, if you absolutely must, we will cringe the entire time and might spit in it, but yes, we will do that for you.
Okay. Okay. I like it. And what do you got for the name?
The name is going to be a good name for a steakhouse. You know what? It's going to be easy. It's going to be Calvin's Cut Steakhouse.
Calvin's Cut Steakhouse. Nick, I am very sold on this restaurant. I'm very Josh. You're gonna have to work for this one. I think.
That's all right. I got some ideas.
You got anything else you want to add to your restaurant, Nick?
No, that's it. Maybe if this restaurant exists in a post legalization world, we'll have a special activities bar in the back of the restaurant for people who wish to go to that bar versus the alcohol bar. So
Oh, okay, okay. Really, a steakhouse for everyone. I see.
yes.
What do you got, Josh?
All right. I'm gonna need you to give me the parameters again so I can speak to this directly.
Your restaurant. Money's not an option. I'm looking for general menu items, the name, and your general decor.
Perfect. So, my restaurant type is going to be a bar and grill. We're going to be looking at general items is going to be fish sticks and finger foods and like just some just easy, quick on the go. I don't want anything like too wine and dined. I'm thinking more like quick. If you can think of Applebee's, that type of bar experience of like finger foods of samplers and all this and that. That's the type of food that we'll be having at this restaurant. Generalized theme. I'm gonna throw it back to the 90s with that carpet that lights up with the black light.
Uh-huh.
Yep, we're doing that.
Like this
Okay.
the skating rink.
We're going to
Yeah.
be having some raves at
Yes,
Josh's
sir.
restaurant.
So we're gonna have that nice carpet along the just as the flooring. We're probably gonna make it out of, we don't want it to be like actual carpet. We're probably gonna make it out of like tile, like that nice resin floor that they do. So we'll do something like that, make it pop, but it'll still be nice. Um, General decor, you're gonna see a lot of mirrors, um, some lights. It's gonna be a fun house, right?
Thank God there's
Okay,
some
just all
lights.
mirrors, all
Like,
mirrors,
yeah,
no
right.
lights.
Yeah. And then like of course you're gonna have your little booths and everything of that nature where you're gonna have table service and we're gonna offer a bunch of different things. We're gonna offer bottle service and we're gonna offer drinks and cigars because I love cigars, so it's gonna be a smoke-friendly environment.
Uh-huh.
Uh, let's see. Did I
You had to
cover all
pay
the
off the state legislator for that one.
Oh, you don't even know, buddy. You don't even know who I had to pay for this. Did I cover everything?
What's the name?
Oh, yeah. The name of it is gonna be Daddy's Issues.
Ooh.
Daddy's issues. That you can't do that.
I
You can't
can do whatever I
recycle your
want.
strip club
Oh no,
name.
this is still a strip club, buddy. We're getting to it. Wait till we get to dessert.
Okay, 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 okay. I'm gonna have to go with Nick for round one though. I do like this nice ass steakhouse. Now Joshua, if I was drunk 2.5, 8 balls in on a Wednesday night. Daddy's Issues sounds like the place that I would want to be, though.
But see,
You know
here's
what
the
I'm
thing,
saying?
right? So you
Uh-huh.
the type of environment and the type of person that Calvin's Cut Steakhouse is gonna invite is not gonna be your everyday person. I have a
Right.
cost-efficient location and menu that will bring everybody from every crowd. So,
So you,
Walmart.
so
eh,
your restaurant's by the airport.
so my
Is what-
restaurant, think of it this way, right? So imagine the center of town. Instead of town hall, you have Daddy's Issues.
the geographic center of town.
Kids,
the
put on
equivalent.
your Sunday best. We are going over to the Daddy's Issues for lunch.
And we're gonna have a great spread of food for everybody. We're
We're gonna
gonna
have all the food. It's gonna be
It's gonna be
fantastic.
huge. It's gonna
It's
be
gonna be
huge.
huge.
We
There's gonna be a big golden door that you're gonna walk right through. It's gonna be perfect.
and we're gonna have all kinds of different things that happen throughout the week as well. We're gonna have breakfast, steak and
All you
eggs.
can eat buffet.
We're gonna
Do
have
you
an
see
all
him
you eat can
grasping at straws after you already
buffet.
admitted that I
Like
won?
this is excellent. And
I feel
Tyler,
like your turn's over and you're just adding to the demise of your own failure.
unfortunately, Tyler is a fucking whore for steak. So it's
I do
honestly,
love a good cut of beef.
Everyone is
Makes
a
my wiener
whore.
hard.
Everyone who's worth their salt is gets turned on by a good steak. All
yeah.
right.
But see, are we talking like how original is a steakhouse?
It's not about what kind. Okay, first of all, the type of steaks we are serving
It doesn't
original
matter.
as fuck.
No, I can go down to Hall's Chop House,
You
spend
literally compared yours to
$600.
Applebee's. How fucking original was that, Joshua?
That's
Shut the
original
fuck
as
up.
fuck, dude. Not only can you get your
Next
chicken
topic.
tenders, but you can also get your
Boys,
chicken
I
titties in the
can't. I
face
can't.
too.
I can't be bored with this any
Chicken
longer. What's the
titties.
next topic?
Okay, now that we've established our restaurants, what is your main dish? Your selling dish, the dish that brings people to your restaurant. What is it?
Well, I guess I have to go first again. The main dish takes the form of what we call the Phoenix Fountain. So, what this is it's a 5-tier chocolate fountain that has built in heaters, right? So, it starts out, you just see like these cylindrical chocolates stacked up in a tower. And as these trays heat up, the chocolate melts into the dishes. And then we call it the Phoenix because it's going to come back as chocolate fondue and curtain down each layer. And you're going to have a scrumptious fruit bar to choose from to dip your fruity fruits under the Phoenix Fountain.
I like. Now,
People
is
come
this-
far and wide for it.
is this Phoenix Fountain table specific, or am I gonna have to wait behind a fat kid in line if I want to use it?
No, you can get one at any table.
Okay. Josh, what do you have for your main dish?
Yes, sir. So my
that
main dish
draws people in.
is going to be fish sticks and tartar sauce. And we're gonna serve it with a great side of whipped cream that you can take with your private dance after you finish your meal.
Okay.
With your purchase of fish sticks and tartar sauce as well, you do get a frozen banana that will come in play during your playtime VIP experience if you so choose.
Okay. Now I'm assuming that these are not hand cut Alaskan cod, hand breaded fish sticks.
No, sir. We took the fish sandwich from McDonald's, cut that into stick form, fixed the batter, and put it on a plate.
Okay. Now, and do you believe that is a more cost efficient way than just buying bags of frozen chicken fish sticks?
Yes, sir. So we did we did an ROI on the production of our fish sticks, and we do see we do seem to bring in at least 2% more on our return of investment on the initial
Oh
purchase.
man.
And the reason being is because the breading around the fish sandwich can also be. I'm not saying that we're cutting corners, but we can also make that a fish stick, and nobody would know the difference.
Do you know why? Do you know why Wendy's hamburger patties are square?
Why is that?
Because they don't cut corners at Wendy's.
Hey, here
Is that
at Daddy's
really?
Issues,
That is literally their slogan for why they have square patties. Just
I
so you
want to kill myself.
know.
so
At
yeah.
Wendy's, we do not cut corners.
I'm gonna have to upset the crowd here and go with the fish sticks, whipped cream, frozen banana lunch.
Yes,
Special.
Daddy.
Yeah, you're just giving him that. That's fine.
No,
I'm
no,
not
I
offended.
don't like fish sticks, but I would like to be a part of that process. I would like to see what all that entails.
He
with
said
the
he
lunch
said I don't
special.
want I may not want to eat the real fish sticks, but I will love to try that bread.
And I'm gonna slightly change this. This was a dessert specific, but I'm gonna open it up. What is your? We have a shock dish, a gross dish akin to eating sour cream and onion crickets or a sucker with a scorpion in it. What is your disgusting shock and awe dish that brings the creeps into the door?
Yes. Well, if you're looking to ride on the wild side of things, let's say maybe you're a um, YouTuber or someone who is a social media influencer of any type, and you're always up to a good food challenge. It all starts with a fresh, never open can of pastrami. Have you ever seen or heard of pastrami?
You say sustrami with an
No.
S?
Yeah, pastrami. It's a Swedish dish.
Pastrami. No,
Yes.
they said like pastrami, canned pastrami.
No, pastrami. So it's like it's basically rotten fish in a can, with bones and all, and it smells like death. But so we're going to give you that in the can so you can have the experience of hearing that beautiful hiss
And getting sprayed with the
and
juices
and
when you
having
open it.
yes and having the juices and the aromas just hit your cranial nerves and make you want to vomit as soon as you open it. And then we're going to pair it with a glass of homemade sour pickle juice.
Homemade. So
Homemade.
you made the pickle juice but didn't pickle anything in it, and you're just serving it, correct?
Oh no, no. You see, there was actually deviled eggs stored in this pickle juice. So that's the fermenting process that it went
Okay.
through. So we're just giving you the juice, though. We don't want to creep you out with the eggs. You can request them if you need them, but we're not going to serve them that way.
As a garnish.
Yes. So if you really want the boiled egg, by all means, we'll give it to you. And I don't know if you've ever seen pickled eggs, but my God. And so the juice from a jar of homemade pickled eggs, and then as a little bit of a appetizer, or let's say pairing, to go with your pastrami, rotten fish from a can with fucking egg juice, essentially. We're going to go ahead and have you also eat a nice moldy brick of blue cheese, because I hate blue cheese with a desperate
Disgusting.
passion. And then if you really and it comes in a couple different ways. If you want us to deep fry your blue cheese, we will oblige you and deep fry it. But
Can
regardless,
I
it's going to be.
request?
Can you request what?
Can I request that you boil the can of fish, the whole can, before you give it to me?
Sure, you can. You can request it in the can or out. We can prepare it for you, but all of the contents of the can are going to end up in whatever preparation method you ask for.
Okay.
So
Okay. That's gross. Every bit of that is appealing. Josh, what do you have for us?
Yes, sir. So, this is a special that only happens on Wednesdays, because middle of the week for Daddy's issues does seem to be a
Hump day.
little slow for us. Um, so on Wednesdays, to make sure that we abide by all PTA meetings in our area, we will be offering half off of our cover charge. This is just the charge to get in the door, but if you order our special plate called the Shocker, you actually get free entry. What this is actually a pound of fish sticks that have been molded together, and this is actually dipped through a 60-year-old woman that we purchased off of our good old black market, and she will secrete over your fish sticks, bringing in two in the pink and one in the stink. And I think you can go get where we're going with this. So she will also put defecation in a ramekin for dipping sauce if you are interested in that. And we do finish it off with the 60-year-old woman's fresh urine as a wonderful drink. This covers a wide variety of fetishes as what we're looking to appeal here. We have butt play. We have uh, urination. We also do cover many other items such as bringing food in the bedroom, and it's really just a dish for everybody. It is for sure acquired taste, but thus far it seems to be one of our best sellers. We are packed on Wednesdays.
Okay. I just want to clarify for everybody that the original prompt was a restaurant, and Josh's ideal restaurant is just a strip club that serves really bad food.
No, really good food.
I'm at a loss here. Both were very, very gross. I hated every bit of that, and I'm unhappy that I asked that question, to be honest with you both. But I do strangely have, from my experience on the internet, I just feel like the experience with the old woman might sell a little more than the fish will.
I agree.
Because I just feel like if we're talking about clientele, that's gonna be the only thing that sells at your restaurant, Josh. While Nick, all of these businessmen are gonna be preferring the wagyu over the pastrami.
Not
So,
pastrami, stroming, and
so I think
I do agree. I would have to say we check off the MILF box with this. However, she is treated
Gilf.
like an animal. Oh, GILF, sorry. Uh, she was purchased as property, and that she's a machine.
Okay, um Josh wins. I don't know if I made that clear because I feel like I said that,
Yes.
and then he just was like, "Wait, I can be worse."
Yes. So for all of you that don't know, Daddy's Issues is was a real life dream of mine that was quickly shot down when I got married, and also uh, was not able to be approved through the Marion County Board of Electoral Votes that can that decide what businesses can go where. Too many schools.
Too many schools, not enough strip clubs. That's what I say.
That's what I say.
Well, what does that bring our score to? I know I'm way ahead of you guys in wins, but where
No,
are you
you
guys at?
lost. You have zero
According,
wins.
Well,
and according,
Josh is now at 2, and I am at 2.
Two as well. We are
oh, so
titty
so
titty
you two
tied.
are tied for second place. Okay, good for you
Correct.
guys.
Yes, sir. Wow, look
Well,
at that.
that was pretty fun. I like that was a good one up until the end there. That was pretty enjoyable.
You did that to yourself. I'm
You
sorry.
did. You made it
I'm
as gross
glad.
as it possibly can. And
This has by far been the grossest episode we've had to date. Like everything else has been pretty mild mannered, and this episode has just been full of shit. Like actually, we've been
actual
talking about
shit.
shit for the majority of this episode.
Yes. It may have
But
been
this
the
is
underlining theme in the second half.
I'm gonna have to put it in the title. I think it's gonna be alien shit too. I think that's what I'm gonna call it.
Yes, I love
Um,
that.
okay, I don't even know. That really just kind of shook me to my core. I think that's the end of the episode. I'm gonna go ahead and do the thing where you are very nice to us and go follow us on TikTok and like our Facebook page. The TikTok is the TJN podcast, the TJN show. My bad. The Facebook page is the TJN show podcast. You could find me on TikTok at I Can't Let You Go Poop, Twitch, Unwise Analysis. We all love you bunches. These two boys need to get more of a social media presence. That's what I always say. Thank you for listening and have a good night.
Thank you so much.
Goodbye, comrade.